8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome. This is the EN Publishing monthly live stream where we let you know what's going on with EN Publishing. So we'll go through fulfillments that we're currently doing. We'll talk about projects we've got upcoming and answer any questions that you have. So my name's Jessica. I'm the business manager. If you have any questions or things like that, you can put them in the chat and I will answer them live. I might put them on the screen just so people can see both sides of the conversation. But yeah, this is just gonna be about half an hour. This is an informal hangout between us where I let you know what's going on and you can ask any questions. If you are not watching this live and you're watching it on catch up and I don't talk about the thing you wanted to know or that you had a specific question, you can always send me an email. And I'm saying me because this is the admin inbox that myself, Russ, and Zin answer, but it'll most likely be me that replies to you. So if you send me a message to the email address on the screen, it's admin@enpublishingrpg.co.uk, I will get back to you and let you know the answer to your question there. So don't panic if I don't answer the question here. Fair warning as well, my camera light, you there, keeps falling and having issues. So if suddenly during the stream we are plunged into darkness and there's a loud clattering noise, that's what that is, and we'll deal with it as and when it happens, but hopefully not. It's actually already sliding, so you can see this fuzziness here. Let me just behave. All right. Anyway, so let's try and carry on and talk about what we're going to talk about. So first question we have is Not D&D making a return. So this podcast. So the plan is to bring Not D&D back at some point. As a lot of you know, we have 2 weekly podcasts that we do. We have obviously the Big Bang podcast, which is Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk podcast, which will be streaming. We usually live stream every Friday. So that'll be tomorrow. We'll be doing that at 2 p.m. UK time. But that's 9 a.m. Eastern, I believe. But in May next month, we're moving to streaming at 8 p.m. Monday evenings, which is about 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're moving that to Mondays when we record, and I also do another weekly podcast called This Week in Tabletop RPG, which is the week's news but in just 3 minutes. So it's me talking very quickly, like giving you the bullet points. If you don't have time to kind of listen to a talking heads hour 40-minute long podcast, you just want the brief bullet points, that's what I do. And I used to do another one called Not D&D, where I interviewed different tabletop RPG creators. The criteria is that their game is not Dungeons and Dragons. That's it. And I'd have them on and we'd talk for about an hour about their game, the systems and game design and things like that. And I love doing this. And this went on for many years. But this year we decided to take a break. I needed to go part-time with work for things outside of work. And so something had to give my schedule. We're a small tabletop RPG publisher. So there is technically one full-time member of staff, which is Russ. I've gone part-time, and then we have Zin, who's part-time as well. And then an army of freelancers who make things happen. So at the moment, I don't have a date for Not D&D making a return. The plan is to get it to come back at some point because I really enjoy doing it. But it will likely be different in some way to make it more sustainable for me to do, because I would need to arrange the guests and doing guest management every week. I would need to also review and read and prepare for the interview for each different game systems every week. And it was just a bit too much on my plate. So the short answer is yes, but no updates on when. So hopefully that fully answers your question, with no information at all. But that's currently where I am. But I can tell you about the things that I am doing right now. And one of which is lots of shipping and fulfillment. So myself and Zin do all the shipping and fulfillment. So when you give me your address after your crowdfunding campaign, it's myself and Zin that download all that data, organize it for whichever shipping and fulfillment warehouse, and then we both double check it with each other and get it all sent out. And we're currently doing that process for the Gate Party Gazette Annual 2025. So thank you to all the backers that backed this campaign. So that was on BackerKit. The pledge manager closed earlier this month, and myself and Zin have been going through the data. It's a bit of a complex one for us because we are sending some things out from local warehouses because we have some offset print items. So for example, if you got the new bundle that has the 3 core rule books, we already have them printed at the warehouse to send from you, and some are print on demand. So for example, the Gate Party Gazette Annual 2022, we did that as a print on demand product because if you remember that year, all the stuff was going on with the OGL and we wanted to just send that out really quick before it could become illegal to print. And this year for the Gate Party Gazette Annual 2025, because of all the stuff going on globally with tariffs and war, we decided to do this as a print on demand again, so we could get this out really quickly instead of doing this as an offset. Generally, all the level up all the level up projects we do as an offset print run, as you know, but there are some occasions that we make really clear when we're doing them as a print on demand, and this will be one of them as well. So we have to organize that separately as well, but we're in the process of doing that. So fulfillment is underway, so if you keep an eye on your inboxes, you will get some updates about when you're receiving your specific order. Some are still being processed and going out because April is the month we're doing this. So please don't panic if you haven't received them yet. And you will likely receive multiple packages if you have add-ons, because some will be coming from DriveThru RPG and some will be coming from local warehouses. But that is the Game Pass Gazette annual. So fulfillment for that is underway. And there's an update on the back of the page condensing everything I've said there if you have any questions or information about that. But yeah, that is that one there. And the other thing we are fulfilling right now, well, I haven't started this yet. This is the D&D short quest. This is coming soon on Kickstarter. It happened. It is live. It's done. The surveys are out right now. The surveys for backers are closing tomorrow, and that's April 24th. So that is when you can let me know your address. And if you chose the just single PDF tier, let me know which PDF you wanted, and I'll send that out to you. So I'll be sending those out tomorrow. And then next week, I'll be downloading all your addresses and organizing them to get them ready to ship out next week for the short quests. So that'll be happening quite quickly. So they will be with you, should be with you in May. And as long as everybody's got those, we're planning on taking some to the UK Games Expo as well. So all the backers should have theirs first. And then I think it's like, is it last weekend of May or first weekend of June when UK Games Expo is? Yeah. Yes, that's when it is. So all the backers should have their short quest books. We'll be sending them out next month. And DriveThru RPG takes 2 to 4 weeks, depending on your location. So the idea is to get them out to everybody. And then if you miss this, you can pick it up at the UK Games Expo. Probably not as good as a bundle discount as the Kickstarter backers get, but that's how crowdfunding works. But we'll be there for that. So that's D&D short quest that we're sending out right now. So the two that we're fulfilling at the moment. All the other campaigns have been fulfilled. Fulfillment is complete as long as we had your address. I've done some Kickstarter updates on those ones, like Enchanted Trinkets and the original Alpha Starter. Just check everybody has all their rewards, because if you don't have your rewards for those, send me a message just so I can check on that for you. So if you don't have your rewards, or at the very least a tracking email, send me a message and let me know. But if you go to the specific crowdfunding campaign for that, I've done an update on them recently, so you can check that to see what you need to do. Generally, sending me an email to this email will get to me, or you can send me a message via the crowdfunding platform. If you send it with all the details, like, hey, it should go to this address and things like that, that'll help me find it just a little bit quicker. That'll be really helpful. But yeah, if you check the crowdfunding page, we'll get this sorted for you. But right now, the Game Pass Gazette annual and D&D short quests will be being fulfilled currently at the moment. So don't panic if you've not got your tracking for those just yet. But that's what I'm doing right now. I'm also preparing, as I've mentioned, for what's coming next in the year, and the UK Games Expo is next month. We've done most of our planning there, so it's going to be a really fun time. We're not doing a live recording this year because, as mentioned in May, we're doing our recordings on Mondays, so we're going to get home from the UK Games Expo and do the live recording on Mondays, so you know in person when they're Friday. But Russ and I will be at the stand in Hall 2 throughout the weekend. If you go on the UK Games Expo website, it's got our exact stand number and position, so you can see that all on there. We'll be selling all the level up products. We will hopefully have the short quest books there as well, because we should have done complete fulfillment for that by then, so you can look at those. We'll have Split the Horde, our card game, available. This is the first time it's available to buy at the UK Games Expo. So we're excited about that. So you can come and play a game, and we've got copies there to sell. We sold out quicker than we thought at Dragonmeet when we took them there in December. So if you do want a copy, come along. I'm trying to take more than I think we need so that we can take some back if we need, but we do have a limited amount. They're only £15, so they're a really good convention pickup, and you can sit and play a game beforehand. And the designer Mark Kenobi will be there on Friday. So if you want to meet the designer or get him to sign your copy or something, Friday morning will be the time to come along to that, and he'll be demoing and teaching the game himself. So you can come along if you like meeting the designers and things like that. Also, if you like meeting designers of games, we are doing our first little foray into solo solo games, solo adventures. We've been asked for a while, and this is something we didn't have, hadn't done before, so we wanted to make sure we're kind of doing it right. And we have a writer called Lauren Rose, and she has written a solo adventure. It's kind of horror themed. It's themed around Final Girl, because Lauren is a really big fan of like Final Girl themed movies and things like that. So it's got very much those kind of movie trope vibes, and it's a solo adventure. And we're going to be previewing that at the UK Games Expo. We're going to have a very, very small amount there, but Lauren will be there on the stand throughout the weekend as well. So if you want to talk to her about that or get her to sign it or anything like that, that will be happening throughout the weekend, and we're really excited for our little foray into solo games. It's quite a small little game, so I think it's only around £10. I have to fact check myself, but yes, it's not like a big hardcover like Level Up or something. So again, a really nice convention buy to kind of pick up there. But we'll be at the UK Games Expo at the end of May with all these things there. And Russ is also going to be bringing, we've got a game in development called Tyrant's Call, which is going to be our next card game that we're doing. We're currently playtesting the rule book, so if you wanted to come along and play that, that would be great. What we'll probably end up doing is not teaching it to you. We might go, here's the rule book, and watch if it makes sense to you and you can play it, because the thing with writing rule books is there's so many iterations, and when you're so close to a project, sometimes it's not as obvious to you, as it would be to someone picking it up cold. So we're in that stage at the moment. So if you're willing to come along and give it a try and read through the rule book, and that will help us so much to know what needs clarity with the rules and the rule book and things. It's designed to be quite a simple, quick game. So yeah, hopefully it's easy to pick up is the plan. But anyway, so that'll be what we're doing next month. We are also planning next month in May, because we've now finished fulfillment for Alpha Star magazine, is to do Alpha Star magazine issue 2. So we, as folks may know, we do monthly magazines for Dungeons and Dragons, which is Insider, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment if you're not familiar or want to know what's going on with that. And we also have one for Level Up Advanced 5th edition, which is the Gate Pass Gazette, which comes out monthly. And after doing Void Runner, we wanted to do one to support that. So we have ongoing content for sci-fi using Level Up A5e. You can, of course, use that with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition or 5.5 or whatever the nom de cleur is today. But yeah, so issue 2 is coming out on BackerKit. And if you missed all of those things I was talking about, so if you missed the Void Runners Codex box set, if you missed Alpha Star issue 1, you can pick up all of those things as a bundle. And if you're curious about the Void Runners Codex, right now, currently live on Bundle of Holding is a really good offer for all the PDFs of the Void Runners Codex. So if you go look up Bundle of Coding Void Runners, if you just Google that, you'll get the link to go through to that page there. And right now it's live, and I think it's less than $20 for the entire digital set, which is like 50% off that they're doing there. So if you wanted to give it a try, Bundle of Holding are doing a big deal on their website for Void Runners at the moment. But separate to that, they haven't got this in because this is brand new, and this is Alpha Star Magazine issue 2. That all rhymed. How nice. So let me tell you a little bit about this. We've got it all approved. So we're planning on taking this live in the next, I think it's in 2 weeks' time. We're planning on getting this going live. Yes, 2 weeks' time it will be going live. Love it if you could follow it before it goes live. That would be really helpful because it helps other people see it. So I'll put the link in the show notes for that, and in the comments. Yes, so you can have a look on there. So the link is down there in the comments of wherever you're watching this, so you can have a little look. But yes, so Alpha Star issue 2. So let's talk about Alpha Star issue 2. So it's got loads of fun stuff in it. So one of the things we bring in is new kind of backgrounds, new cultures. So there's one that we're looking at religions and ancient kind of cultures with aliens and things. So lots of civilization are shaped by like science, things and sci-fi, but we really wanted to include some what religions and explain the world around them and how that shapes societies. And even if people aren't actively religious anymore in those communities, how has their beliefs kind of shaped the way their societies structured today, and just by being in proximity to them. So there's 2 new cultures. There's the devotee and the precursor. There's 3 new backgrounds. There's the anointed warrior, there's the explorer, and there's a xenoarchaeologist. So maybe your character isn't part of these cultures and religions, but they're exploring it. So they're like a space Indiana Jones or something. We have those, which is really, really fun. Also, a really fun thing about sci-fi and including that in your D&D campaigns is the tech. So there's over 19 new weapon augments and 6 new explosives. And I'm a big fan of explosives and things like that because it's very fun in a sci-fi campaign to just go in guns blazing. There's an adventure as well, One Chap Scrap, which is an adventure for second level Void Runners. So this is really good if you're at an entry point and kind of introducing people to the game and how it works. And it's set in a scrapyard, as you can imagine. And then this might be a reference for folks that are in the know about What's Old is New. So we have a section called The Moons of Borea. And if you're familiar with What's Old is New in that lore, you might know a little bit about Borea and things. But if you don't, this will be new to you. So we're making the Borean heritage available. So you can play as a Borean. And have that in your game. So that'll be for D&D and Level Up Advanced 5th edition. So these are kind of things that you'll find in issue 2. There's digital and there's print versions available. And we've got bundles where you can pick up issue 1 and the Void Runners Codex box set. The Void Runners Codex box set has now sold out in the US. You can get it shipped from our UK warehouse. Of course, you may get import tax on that when it arrives because that's the world that we live in, but we do have bundles here that include that. So if you are wanting to pick up the Void Runners Codex box set and the magazines, this will be kind of the cheapest way to get that available to you, and that'll be launching in just 2 weeks time with Alpha Star magazine. So Space Dwarfs, if you will, coming in. But yes, so that's what we've got going on there. After that, we've got Insider Magazine that I was going to talk about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, so this is a hardcover annual. So last year, after a decade of Insider Magazine producing weekly content by the Patreon account, so there's over like 500 individual articles. And this is like adventures, supplements, new classes, new heritages, equipment, locations, NPCs, monsters, villains. There's over 500 articles, and after a decade, we decided to change it into a monthly magazine format. So it comes out as a monthly magazine, and that's been going on for a year now. And like the Gate Pass Gazette annual, we've had some folks asking, are you going to do a hardcover annual for Insider? And we said, yes, why not? So that's exactly what we're doing. So we're doing that via Kickstarter. So you can jump in and get the hardcover, which has all the first 12 issues of Insider Magazine. And yeah, you can get them there. We do want to do a discounted tier available for the Patreon backers. So if you're a Patreon backer, if you go to the Patreon page, we will have a link, a secret link for you to go in, so you get a discounted version because you've already supported and backed and already got all the digital versions of these. But if you wanted to buy the hardcover, that'll be available to you at a discounted rate. If you are interested in jumping in, you could join Insider for that month and that month only and get the discounted version if you wanted. And the great thing about Insider, which is an amazing deal, which I don't think we shout about enough, so I'm now shouting about it a little bit more. When you sign up, you get access to the entire digital archive. So if you sign up for the £10 digital tier, pledge tier, you get 600 plus Dungeons and Dragons PDFs. So even if you just signed up for 1 month, downloaded them all and left, that would be fine. That's legal. You can do that. That is a thing you can do. So that is on the Patreon account. So you can sign up and do that. So that is available, obviously, right now to join the Patreon. And there's monthly content. And if you sign up, you'll get instant access to the archive of 600 plus. And this is for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for 5.5. But yes, so you can have a look and put it on there. But also we have, as I mentioned, the next project we're doing is the annual, which is the hardcover book, which will be coming to Kickstarter. Dependent on the number, that might be offset or that might be print on demand. We'll probably do a pledge level goal for how many we need to get the offset print run. So we'll see about doing that. But yeah, as I said, the link for that I'll put downstairs. It's just Insider Annual, and that is on Kickstarter. Again, if you give that a follow, super duper helpful for us because it helps us see everything. And you can click the link that's in the comments right now if you're interested in picking that up. But yeah, I would say I'd recommend joining, if only for the month, to the Patreon, just so you can get the discounted pledge tier and 600 plus PDFs, because that just feels like a no-brainer for me because it's been going for over a decade. But yes, So that's what we've got going on with Insider Magazine there. Moving away from Dungeons and Dragons now, because we all love Dungeons and Dragons, but we all love other systems as well. So we have What's Old is New. So last year we did the Bestiary on Kickstarter. Everyone should have their orders for that. That should be away. If you don't have that, send me a message. I will fix that for you. But everyone whose address I had, I sent you a book. What's Old is New role-playing system we're creating new content for, so there'll be new books each year. And if you know What's Old is New, we have already, I think it's close to 17 different source books, and we pretty much choose a movie genre or a world and create that as a supplement for What's Old is New. And this one is The Possessed, for we are many. So this fits in with now. If you're not familiar with What's Old is New, it's a crunchy D6 dice pool system with a life path character creation. And there's 3 core books. There's Old, which is based on fantasy and has magic in. There's New, which is science fiction and has rules for like spaceships and star travel and things. And then there's Now, which is like modern day action. And when I'm saying modern day, it's kind of like 80s action movie. So modern being a relative term, especially some people watching the 80s, they were not alive in. Anyway, so What's Old is New is very much, you can see the source reference, so it's got very much those possession sort of horror films, and it's an adventure set in that world there. So we'll be doing that, and we'll be doing bundles. If you're not familiar with What's Old is New and that's of interest, we do have a starter box set, which is just £25. It has a condensed version of the rules, and it has 3 adventures, 1 in each genre, maps, tokens, and everything there, so you can kind of try it out and see if it's for you. Like I say, it's a D6 dice pool system, so it's quite simple to run because it's, start, roll that number of dice, and it flows really nicely. The most complex part of the game, I'd say, is the character creation, because it's a life path character creation system, so you've got a lot of choices and things you can do. But that's why in the starter box set we've given you 12 pre-generated characters, so your players don't have to sit and engage with that. If they're trying something new, they can just pick a character sheet, and it's pretty easy to sit and run and go in that sense. But yeah, what we've got going on for What's Old is New is The Possessed, which is the next one, which will be coming up later this year. That is on Kickstarter. The pre-launch page is up, so if you're interested and want to be notified when we launch, you can do that. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a link to click, because that is nicer. That is nicer than that's nicer to click through than to type on the screen. But yes, more What's Old is New. We're planning on doing new stuff for that every year, as we have for the past few years. Also, for What's Old is New, I made a new shiny website for it. So if you go to the EM publishing page for What's Old is New, all the information about What's Old is New is condensed there. So it's got links to where you can find all those books I mentioned, all the supplements. It's also we've got loads of online tools for it as well, and they're all condensed in one place. It'll show you the online character generator, because as I mentioned, the most complicated path is the character creation side of it, and there's an online tool to help you do that, where you just click through and walk through. We've also got loads of other tools on there, like it calculates faster than like travel speed times for you, and there's loads of tools and resources there. But if you go on that page, there's a section for tools, and you can have a look there and see what you think. We also open to third parties creating on that, so we have the third party creation tools there, and we've got an online site with all the information to help you create that if you're making your What's Old is New products. And if you do make them, do let us know, and we can share that. We've got information about how you can kind of automatically do that on Drive-Thru RPG, so you'll be in the category, and we help kind of promote that for you there. But yeah, so that's what we're doing with What's Old is New. I've had a question that I will pop on to the screen. So it said, is EM publishing with a 5e base for their books, or what consider other systems like Shadowdark or Tales of the Valiant? So we don't just do kind of 5e. As I mentioned, we have What's Old is New, we have the Awfully Cheerful Engine, we have our new solo quest adventures that we're doing, and we absolutely will consider working with other systems as well, as a third-party publisher. So like things like Shadowdark, Tales of the Valiant. The thing with Tales of the Valiant is it's a 5e spin-off in the same way Level Up Advanced 5th edition is. So it's at its core, it's 5e. So any Level Up A5e you could slot into your Tales of the Valiant games, really, I think. Because its core engine is 5e with like other changes bolted on, and Level Up is very like that as well. So that would work like that. But yeah, we're always open to looking at different systems. We know the main thing for us, we like to create stuff that we're excited about and that we know about. I'm not hugely familiar with Shadow Dark, and I don't think Russ is either. So at the moment, we're not going to be creating specifically content for that because that's not something that we're excited and creating for. But yeah, no, we're very much. So yeah, we're not just 5e. We do Level Up Advanced 5th edition. We do What's Old is New, Awfully Cheerful Engine, solo quests. But yes, a range of different things. So hopefully that answers your question. I hope that helps. But yes, what else have we got going on? So yeah, I was talking about What's Old is New. I'm going to skim back to Level Up Advanced 5th edition because our big book this year is Secrets of the Tome. And Secrets of the Tome will be coming out in the autumn, but we are starting to sneak information out about it. So every month, Russ is going to be sneaking some information, sometimes more because he's quite frankly, because he's excited about it. Sometimes more often, but if you go to levelup5e.com, the news section, you will see some articles talking about Secrets of the Tome and what that includes. And it's a big book which is just full of goodies and treats if you are a magic user or any kind of spellcaster. In Level Up Advanced 5th edition is pretty much what it is. The team is got some wonderful people that I'm sure Russ is going to tease in the news articles, and a lot of these are third-party creators that if you're used to Level Up Advanced 5th edition, you'll see there. It's also the team is being led by Paul Hughes, who created the Monstrous Menagerie, Monstrous Menagerie 2, and Pets and Sidekicks. So if you're a fan of those books, it's the similar sort of writing team kind of creating that. But yeah, so Secrets of the Tome is on Kickstarter. Again, the pre-launch is there, and we've got a little bit more news and information that will be leaked kind of every month coming out as a written article, which Russ has written up there for you to take a look at. So that'll be coming in the autumn. So that is the kind of things we have on the slate. I do have an announcement about Level Up Gateway. I need to write up this article actually. Just reminded my brain, it's been on my to-do list. So Level Up Gateway is our online tool site for Level Up Advanced 5th edition, and it looks so lovely. It's more than I thought we as a really small publishing house would be able to produce, because when I say small, literally one full-time member of staff and the rest are part-time. We were able to create this tool site that you can build all the characters up to level 10. At the moment we're in the place of progressing them all up to level 20. Yes, so we're up to level 20, and but the development has stalled a little bit, you might have noticed, and the reason for that is because there's a baby been born. Our main developer is having a baby. They're having their first child, so they're going to be off on paternity leave. So we discussed things with them, and we want to keep working with them because they're doing a really great job. We accept that means there's going to be a pause on the development because it's just one person sat there creating most of this behind the scenes, because Russ and I can't code and create this. So they're doing a fantastic job. We want it to stay with them. We don't want to take the project away from them, but we also want them to have time with their new family. So we decided to put a pause on development, and we're being flexible about when they leave, when they return for their paternity leave. As anyone that's had a child knows that you can make plans for when you'll return, but sometimes the situation with baby is very different. So we decided to be really open, really flexible with that, and we're just going to see what baby wants to do. And yeah, so Level Up Gateway is still there. It's still live. All the characters are up to level 10. Some of them are up to level 20. If you see bugs still, please do report them and let us know. So because the bug log will come back to when we're back. But for the moment, there's not going to be any particularly new features coming up on the site for the moment because they're off on paternity leave. We're really excited for them. We love games. We love Level Up Advanced 5th edition, but sometimes real life things take precedent, and that is the case for this one for us. I'll write up an article about that for Level Up site just so that's clear and linked on the main page. But yeah, we're really excited and congratulations. And yeah, just little pause in development for Level Up Gateway for now. But yes, we had some other questions. So someone's saying, I'm hoping we can mix Void Runner's Codex with Traveller 5e. Yeah, so I actually haven't. I'm interested in Traveller 5e. We talked about this a little bit on the Morris podcast, because if it is 5e core engine, so Level Up and Void Runners, you can play with 5e. So in theory, it should work. But I haven't seen the full rules for Traveller 5e and the differences they made, so I can't see whether or not it'll be compatible or not. But if it's core engine and base is 5e, I don't see why not. But this is me not knowing the system and the rules, but I don't see why not is my full answer on that. But yeah, that's mostly everything I was going to talk about this month. So if I didn't answer your question, and because you're watching on catch up, again, please do send me an email. The best way to get in touch, or like a direct message via Kickstarter or something, and I can get back to you and confirm anything there. But yeah, that's all we've got coming up for this year. We're probably starting to plot what we're going to be doing in 2027 as well, because it's already April. Don't know how that works. But yeah, as I mentioned, if you're looking to get a copy of the Void Runners Codex right now in Bundle of Holding, the digital set is available for less than $20, really discounted. If you're in the US and you want a physical copy, we have sold out, but they are in your friendly local game stores. So there's still some in distribution that can be ordered. So if you're local, you can ask your local game store to order it via ACD. But you can order it via our website from the UK, but just know that there might be shipping, imports, and things like that. I had a question of, do you do interviews on other D&D tuber channels? Me specifically, or Russ at EN World? The short answer is yes. We have done. Usually when we have books and things coming out, we have a press list and we send out to press what we're doing and say, do you want to interview whoever's relevant? Like when we were doing Pets and Sidekicks, we had Paul Hughes, who was the lead writer, go on and talk about that. Russ was on just the other month. There's oh my gosh, I've forgotten the name of it. What's the people in the comment? The A5E podcast. They do information about all A5E third party stuff and main things. They're really good. Russ went on that to talk about Secrets of the Tome and other things we've got coming up. But yeah, so if you want to be on our press list, because you are media press and want to know what we're doing so you can talk about it, send an email here. If you have a show and you want to interview us about EN World or EN publishing things and stuff we do, send it here and we can take a look at that. But yes, is the short answer to your question there. So yes, we can do that. But yeah, I hope that answered your questions. I, at this point, will head off for the evening. I hope you all have a lovely day. I will be back tomorrow live streaming Morris's unofficial tabletop RPG talk, wherever you are watching this, and that'll be at 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on Friday. But from May, we will be moving to Mondays. So yes, but I will see you here next month. Every month we do the monthly update. I'll probably be doing this just before UK Games Expo, so I may be a little bit frazzled getting ready for that. But I will be here and hopefully see you at the UK Games Expo next month as well. But thank you very much for your support and for watching. We are a small indie tabletop RPG company, and we wouldn't exist without people like you that watch and support and subscribe. So thank you very, very much. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Oh no, it's not working. How awkward. One awkward end. Let's try that again. Everyone pretend that didn't happen. Right, ready? Right, wait. Let's try that again. Okay, get the outro going. Okay, everyone forget that happened. Ready? Okay, thank you very much. Bye.